With a nice mix of analog and digital architecture, does the iniBuilds A300 freighter deliver the goods? Our first impressions up next.
Welcome to this FSElite first look of iniBuilds A300-600R freighter on the line for X-Plane 11. I'm Tim.
And I'm Lee. You may know us from our YouTube channel, Flight Brothers FT.
If you desire a classic Airbus or need another airliner in your hangar, iniBuilds has something for you. With a price of £69.99 British pounds, this product is towards the upper end of what most simmers might pay. Other developers of complex aircraft share this price point, so the question always is it worth it? We'll let you make your own decision, but this first look video might help you out, so let's get started.
Let's begin our tour with textures. iniBuilds includes a house livery with our download, as well as making available about 40 additional real and fictional cargo liveries at the time of this writing. Passenger liveries are set to be available soon, as is the passenger variant. Those will be available at the link below or inibuilds.com/inisimulations/liveries. The liveries are a high-quality 4K and PBR inside and out. Landing gear is detailed and animated, but not the most detailed we have seen.
Interior and the flight deck for me is the real star feature of this aircraft. iniBuilds has captured the feel of this Airbus beautifully, with high-quality textures and modeling throughout. Functionality and systems have proved perfect in our initial tests without any faults, including their custom MCDU's operation. iniBuilds has included SIDS and STARS functionality from the first release here into their MCDU. This is a huge selling point for us since most of the complaints we see on new aircraft revolve around custom FMS and autopilot issues. What features make or break payware aircraft for you? Throw it down below in the comments. The aircraft is also mostly VR compatible, except for the EFB, which is why it's not being listed as completely VR compatible. Neither Lee nor I has verified this feature though, as we do not have VR equipment for X-Plane. A really useful bonus feature included here is that if you have multiple monitors, you're going to love the pop-out displays. This would allow you to easily locate any of the necessary displays onto a second monitor, which would make for much easier use in your virtual cockpit.
An interior cabin is modeled along with a lav. The cargo bay is operational, and the animated door can be opened from both the EFB and the cabin control panels by the crew door and cargo door. The doors have a 70 and 145 degree position, As a nice bonus, ini has also given us an animated loader with 4 cargo pods, each pod automatically loading into the aircraft along with a tug departure animation. Livebrain is not yet fully functional in this build, and they're awaiting for Livebrain to have Vulkan support, and then we should expect this system to be implemented. So for you rain geeks out there, it's on the way.
iniBuilds has included 2 engine types with their Airbus, which are loaded as separate aircraft, which could be part of why the download is actually quite large. The Pratt & Whitney 4000 and the GE CF6 series engines are your 2 options. Interestingly enough, we have reviewed the iniBuilds F-Mod for the default Boeing 747-400 previously on this channel, and that also has the GE CF6 family engines. That is a sound pack review again on this channel. You can check it out. Both Lee and I were very impressed with the interior sounds on this Airbus. The engine pitch changes on taxi were some of the most nuanced and realistic we have found in any aircraft in X-Plane.
Approaching 07 right.
The experience was equally excellent on takeoff from the cockpit. However, oddly enough, the exterior sounds were substantially quieter than sounds from most other developers. Typically, when you leave the flight deck to an external view, you might even need to turn down your speakers. Not the case with this. We found this odd because even the engine start on the flight deck sounded amazing, but then found the same engine start to be quite underwhelming outside. We even found the better pushback tug was competing for volume with the engine start, and that seemed rather improbable in a real-world setting.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake. And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
The supporting documentation for the A300 includes one PDF of 53 pages. You have a normal checklist, which is a one-page document, and this is also available and included on the EFB from the flight deck. So be sure to check out that feature. You have simplified procedures of 11 pages and expanded, explaining nearly every step in detail, consisting of a 21 page. The EFB is dual on both the captain and first officer sides, and the functionality is mirrored, so you'll see the same on both left and right side. It handles your typical systems options as well as some fantastic features. One unique feature is the calculations page, which allows you to calculate your takeoff performance data. This takes into account your wind, ambient air temperature, QNH, and runway conditions, and can be directly transferred into the McDo with the click of a button. A flight page has your normal checklist, as we've mentioned above. Ground operations includes a load manager, a load sheet, and ground services for hooking up your external power, your loading equipment, etc., and fuel truck, and exits for controlling your open and closing of doors. A miscellaneous area includes ATIS and various panel states. So if you've loaded it as a cold and dark and you realize I don't have the time to do that, simply click a button. All you may be required to do is wait for a little bit of IRS alignment, but it should be ready to go. I tested this personally with cold and dark to takeoff and a takeoff configuration to GPU, and it happened in a matter of seconds. Finally, you'll find your settings here as well. Special systems include brake fans, which are modeled, as Tim and I have both overheated on multiple landings. And in the A300, your go levers, for many of us Boeing types, would be toga. It's normally by the throttle. This is not very friendly in the sim, so the developers placed a fictional toga switch to the bottom left of the auto throttle button. This is a screw, so you can actually click on that, and then it functions a bit like the PMDG 737, so it is there for your ease.
Just another workaround. I have a toga set up on my joystick. That also gets you there. So, flight dynamics. iniBuilds claims realistic flight characteristics, including stall buffet and ground effect. We found the feel to be believable. For the size of aircraft, its performance seemed fine, although neither one of us has any real A300 experience to compare it with. We even tried a little acrobatics with the Airbus and found it to be quite capable, although it is debatable if what we did to it could realistically be done. Wing flex is featured on the aircraft. However, sometimes they're called the scare bus for a reason. The real-life Airbus wings are pretty stiff, so flex modeling may be hard to notice compared to your Boeings.
If you're interested in purchasing the A300, it is available directly from iniBuilds website at store.inibuilds.com, and we will try to get that link for you in the video description below as well.
So Lee, now that we've done most of the first look, what's your personal opinion? Is this Airbus on par with its other peers at this high price point?
I think it is. I think it's really in the market of your flight factors, your FlyJ sims, and I think if I recall some of my own personal hangar, that 90 to 100 for the packs of the 757s and 67s and A320s, you have all the features in that, and I really feel that this aircraft perform very well. I think it is priced competitively amongst its peers. And I know that's always a difficult question that pops up, Tim, as we alluded to at the beginning. So I think it's fair. And I think I'd probably be best just to leave it at that and let our viewers make the decision on their own. What do you think, Tim? I know you haven't been flying airliners a whole lot these days, so what was your overall impressions?
I'd have to agree with you that it seems like they've given you all the things you would expect at this price point. And the one thing that impressed me the most with this being their first, this is, I believe, their first aircraft offering, is the systems, especially in that MCDU autopilot, just bulletproof so far. I mean, the SIDS worked, the stars worked. It was able to VNAV properly, or a profile, I guess, on the Airbus. And so it really just, I mean, first flight, no issues, not one. And that was kind of unprecedented. Usually either I mess something up or there will be something a little odd about the way you have to handle it. No, it was an easy first flight. Everything worked. And out of the box, that was impressive. And I have to say, I just found it satisfying. It was fun. I've been doing a lot of GA lately. And this made me want to get back into flying some heavies again.
I have to agree with you. I simply just, I found it enjoyable. It was just enjoyable to fly. I didn't fly anything longer than I think like an hour and a half. But where are you on that price point? How do you feel about how it's placed within the market?
I was surprised that for a first aircraft from the developer that it had such a high price point. But now that we've flown it, seen all the features, seen how well developed they are, seen all the offerings of liveries and the added animations, I would say it fits comfortably with its peers there. So I think they can justify it pretty well, although I do understand plenty of people will not want to pay that much.
That's always a sticking point for these devs, isn't it? So if you have flown the iniBuilds already, or you have more questions, please comment below. Leave that below for us or any of the FSElite team to get back to. And as always, to stay up on the latest and greatest information in the flight sim community, click subscribe and add FSElite.net to your internet browser favorites.
So thanks for watching this FSElite first look. We are Tim and Lee from the Flight Brothers FT. Until next time, remember, plan the flight and fly the plane.